In the past couple of weeks, there's been drama all around the world. But unfortunately, it was this same time that my body felt, okay, I need to take some rest because I literally fell ill. And if you see my mouth and you see the way I look, you can still see traces of what happened to me. But I'm perfect now and I'm feeling really perfect. But the biggest part of the whole problem wasn't really how I was feeling physically. It was the inability to come on YouTube and rant. Because for real, a lot happened. A lot of things happened. Let's talk about the things that happened between Trump and Zelensky and Kemi Badenoch. What the hell is this woman doing? But of all this situation, the most painful part that I wasn't really talk about, that I was unable to talk about, was about this guy, Mr. Constantinople. His name is Constantine. Is it Richie or something? I'm not sure. But he's a Russian guy who came to the UK, who perhaps maybe came to the UK to study, or his dad brought him to the UK, but claims to be some of the biggest far right and the savior of the Western civilization. This guy goes around saying,
oh, our dear country, oh, we've been able to turn around the world. We are the best, we the British, and stuff like that. And
I'm not going to do the same thing he did. I'm not going to say he's not British because he probably has a British passport, which is none of my business at the end of the day. But then this guy has been going around saying a lot of really, really ridiculous stuff. And something I noticed about the internet is you can literally become famous by saying some of the most stupid things. You can become famous by saying some of the most inflammatory things because the world is a really big place. And there is always people who are ready to listen to you. It doesn't matter what the content of what you're saying is. So what has this guy said recently that really caught my attention and really does make him deserve a video? It is this statement.
I've always said, this is a very unpopular thing, that I'm not English. I will never be English. I don't think Rishi Sunak is English. We're both British, but we're not English.
No, you weren't born here. You were an immigrant.
No, well, my son was born here. I don't think my son is English.
Right.
He's born to a Russian
again,
Ukrainian
that's definition,
immigrant.
right? I would say that Rishi Sunak is as English as Tizer and Wyferns, right? He is absolutely English. He was born and bred here. And I wouldn't say that the color of his skin makes him any
He's
less.
a brown Hindu. How is he English?
Because he's born and bred here.
So this guy, a Russian guy, born to a Russian dad and perhaps a Ukrainian mother or something like that, I'm not sure, is the one who has self-appointed himself as the chief immigration officer of the UK. Like sometimes I wonder, why is he always them? Why is he always these people who are not even white British, who tend to have the biggest issue with people moving into England? If you see the video, one thing I noticed about this video is the man who is actually talking to this so-called Mr. Constantinople is a white Scottish man who, of course, is closer to being English than any other person you see around. Now, the problem is, this man was trying to tell Mr. Constantinople that he is wrong. He keeps trying to tell Mr. Constantinople that you are not right. Now, what's the point here? One thing foreigners, people coming to the UK who were not born into the UK or whose parents were not born into the UK, don't understand is you don't know England than people who are historically white, English, Welsh, Scottish people. There was a point where England as a country was being controlled by a French king. England was once ruled by a Scottish king. So the idea of being English shouldn't be coming from a Russian man. And another thing is the description of where you're from on this small island or on this small British island is not strictly based on blood. Of course, blood is a major factor. You can say someone is English because they were born to English parents, but that is not the only criteria. I've met a lot of British people, who have died from let's say Birmingham and were born in Sheffield. And this guy tells me, I'm from Sheffield. I'm not from Birmingham. And I mean, coming from Nigeria, that does surprise me because you're mostly from where your dad is from. But it's like, no, I was born here. I'm culturally from Sheffield. I haven't even been to Birmingham before. So how am I going to tell people from Birmingham that I'm from Birmingham? Because I don't even have a Birmingham accent. That is basically another yardstick that is used in this part of the world to decide where you're from. And it is not strictly based on blood. Now, before I end any video, sometimes I like to also consult our brother ChatGPT. Because, sometimes we think humans are getting more dumb. These AIs tend to know more than us at this point in time. So let's ask ChatGPT what being English is all about. So ChatGPT says the term English can have several meanings depending on context. First and foremost, nationality. Someone is English if they are a citizen of England, which is part of the United Kingdom. This is often based on birth, residency, or ancestry. That's number one. 2, ethnicity, which I believe Mr. Constantinople was talking about here. English people are considered an ethnic group with historical roots in England, tracing back to Anglo-Saxons, the Normans, and other influences. Then you talk about the culture. Being English can also be defined by the cultural aspects such as their language, their tradition, their custom, and social norms associated with England. Then the fourth would be legal definition, which you talk about the identity can be recognized through passports, the legal documents, or self-identification in censuses. So now, of all these 4 criteria listed by AI, you can see the only one Rishi Sunak doesn't really fit into is the ethnic part. You can say Rishi Sunak is ethnically Indian. But would you say he's not English? I think that would be wrong. You can say he's not ethnically English, which I feel even an idiot can see that. You say Rishi Sunak, this guy doesn't look ethnically English. But would you say he's not English? That would be wrong. Use someone like Bukayo Saka, a black England player who played for the English team. How would you say he's not English? I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. Like the AI said, context matters. And if you go around saying people are not English or because they are not white, I think it would be wrong. Because in the next 50, 100 years, the definition of being English would not just be about skin color anymore. Because then you would have had people of Indian heritage, people of African heritage, whose family have lived here for more than 100 years at that time. And then it would be totally wrong to tell them they are not even ethnically English, because then the word evolves. And some people who even call themselves English today are not even English. I mean, tracing their generation back to 50, 100 years, they probably came from Poland or Germany or some other different areas, just like the Anglo-Saxons. So basically what I'm saying is Mr. Constantinople needs to do more findings and read further, because over time, because you're so interested in being right or appearing like a right winger, you end up saying a lot of rubbish and tries your best to define this rubbish. And like I said in the beginning, why is it always these people? Why is it always these people who are not even historically English, who tend to always try to tell other people they are not English? Why?